Hey y'all. Uh I didn't realize I was gonna log in so quick. There he is. Let's see here. Let's start here. There we go. There you go, Bass Angler. All right. How y'all doing this evening? This is the first one. I actually brought lights so that you can see me, since you can see it's getting dark. I actually came to where there's electricity so I can have power so that my computer won't go bad. Because since I don't have 1,000 subscribers, I have to do it with a computer and not my phone. There's my Finnish guy that logged in the other night and gave me my sound check. Nice to see you again. Thank you for checking back in. It's like 2:30 in the morning in his world. Let's see here. Chinese. Dude, I had spaghetti for the first time in 2 months tonight. Little background. On March 31st, I weighed 230 pounds. And this morning I weighed in at 204. Yeah, I've lost 25 pounds in 2 months. Trying to get rid of some of that visceral fat lingering around the old tickers. There's Max Martin Castu. Nice to see you check in. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it's basically a keto plan. It's called Optavia. And what they do is they cut out carbs and sugar. So yeah, it's basically keto. They give you a little carbs so you get to pick me up from it, but they reduce them down real low. I think my daily caloric intake was like 1,000 calories. It was really low. Yeah, it's incredible. I've lost a considerable amount of weight. If you go back and watch the videos from 3 months ago, you can see it in my face. My face has gotten narrower. It's incredible. Yeah. Dang, Axe. Wow, 50 pounds, dude. That's incredible. Congratulations, man. 25 was significant for me. I can imagine what 50 would be like. No kidding. There's a few for me. I ain't got many left to lose. Oh, Lord. But yeah, you kind of get used to it. They let you drink all the coffee you want. A cup of coffee only has 1 calorie, so you're able to beat the system with that. Wow, dude. 278 to 218. Dude, that's 60 pounds. That's not 50. You're selling yourself short. Congrats, 204 since I was in my 20s. So, yeah, I'm happy. It does. They say for every 10 pounds of weight you lose, you remove 40 pounds of force from the knee joint. So I'm trying to protect my knees and hips so I don't have to have knee replacement surgery when I get basically about 20 years older. And by taking off 25 pounds, I'll take 100 pounds of force off of each knee and hip as I step. I guess they base it on the surface area of the contact pattern, but I thought that was incredible. I keep getting these notices. What is all this? All right, back in business. Yeah, it's called Optavia. You buy the little candy bars from them and the little bags of snacks, and they're all low calorie, low carb, low sugar. They have some sugar and some calories. You get a little of it, and I think that's so that you don't go, was it hyperglycemic or the one where you hypoglycemic, where you sugar drops. They give you a little to prevent that, because Teresa had to have that. But it worked really well. I was surprised. In like 2 months, I dumped 20 pounds without even trying. It wasn't hard. Reduced it back to 1 minute. Incredible. But that's a kitty. It'll work. It's expensive. You buy the food from them, and you could do your own food plan. I mean, I'll look on the pack if you want to see. I think each snack runs about 100 calories in value. And then when you eat your meal, you don't eat carbs and you don't eat sugar. So you cut out your desserts and you cut out the potatoes and the pasta. And so they nickname it lean and greens. You can have all the steak you want. You can literally eat the fat off the steak. They don't care, because your body is in fat burning mode, so it doesn't matter. It's kind of neat. I'm sitting out here on this porch, and I can't show you if I turn the camera around. It's gonna be dark. But I'm on a little patio with a roof here in case it rains again. It's been raining all day off and on. And here comes a lady now who's just done her laundry. The laundry room's right there. So so I've got people coming by constantly right behind the rig here. Exercise photography, yeah. Works faster when you do some exercise. Yeah. Yeah, Axe says that, the exercising, because you drive your calories up. On Mondays, we do 5K Monday. We do 3 miles every Monday afternoon. We go from 4 to 6, and we're that kind of way of getting some cardio. Oh, come on, Bass Angler. Don't eat right before bed, dude. Don't do that. Oh, look, Kelly B. Kelly B's on a seafood diet. He sees food and he eats it. Oh. Yeah, this is on point. All right. Whoa, what was that brightness check all about? I wonder. That's bizarre. Thank you, Perry. Yeah, I'm pretty much the only one on this router because I've came down here. I'm at the campground. Y'all can't tell. I mean, let's see. See the swimming pool behind me back there? See it? So I'm down here. Yeah. See. Oh, I'm sure that bright light was a big help for you guys. But I'm down here at the clubhouse by myself. There might be one guy in there washing clothes who's got a smartphone. So I pretty much got all the bandwidth I want right here. If you go out into the campground, the remote routers are all buried because everybody out there is trying to log into them. So I'm kind of beating the system. Oh, yeah. I used to eat at night too, Bass Angler. It was a big deal for me. Grant wanting to re-rail the derailed live stream. Good. Thank you. He says, how long have you been practicing photography? I've been doing photography really since the early 90s. That's when I bought the Yashica. I think it was called a FX 103 program was the camera I bought. I found it in a pawn shop. It was in one of them little vinyl flippy kind of snap lock cases, hard shell square camera case that when you clicked it and it was like a vinyl and had cardboard lining, so it was rigid. And on the inside was a space for the camera and like 2 lenses and some rolls of film. And I bought the camera for literally like $30. It was dirt cheap. And the camera worked only in manual mode. I didn't understand why I couldn't get it to work in aperture priority or program or any of that. And then I got to messing with it. Well, back then there wasn't internet. The internet didn't exist in 93. So I just got to messing with it one day. And I found on the bottom there was a little screw-off cap that had a battery in it. So I took the battery and I went down to Revco and I went through the hearing aid batteries till I found one that matched the one I had. Bought one of those and dropped in it. And the camera just came to life. It's incredible. It did all sorts of stuff that I didn't know it could do. I ran it in program mode from then on because it worked so well in program mode. I took pictures of the birth of my little girl. Actually, she was C-section, so I wasn't allowed to photograph the actual surgical procedure. But literally, she is, I would say, 1 minute old, and the nurse that cleaned her up held her up under the warming lamp, and I took her photo with that camera. It turned out really good. They took a Polaroid, and it looks like a blurry kind of skin tone blob, and then I have a professional quality photograph of her from that point. I'm starting to buffer. It says probably having to share bandwidth from somebody. You had a Ryko KR5. I never saw the Ryko cameras in the wild. I've seen them on eBay since. I've looked at them a little bit since then, but I didn't really know that Ryko made cameras. I knew Pentax and I knew Minolta. I didn't know what Yashica was till I bought that one. I had never heard of it. But it was a great little manual. Well, it was a kind of a high-end Yashica because it had a program mode. And back then I didn't really understand the exposure triangle, so I would just mess with it because I didn't have any books on it at the time. I didn't have no literature. But then I got into the 2000s and the internet came to be, and it was easy to research information then. And I was able to find literature. And honestly, the first book I ever read on photography was Scott Kelby's. He has those little paperbacks, and it's, as he puts it in the forward, it's not a technical manual so much as it's two guys going to shoot, and he's taking photos. And if you want to get your photos like him, he tells you the kind of settings. And I really like it. It's real easy read. And he had some comic relief in there that was really, really funny. And I just enjoyed reading those books. I read it 2 or 3 times. I think I still have those books. I bought 2 or 3 of them. He has a whole series of them. But it's buffering. That sucks. I don't know how to fix that either. I don't know if there's anything I can do, just to tell you the truth. Yeah. Is it because I'm running too hard? I don't know. Probably the internet. I don't think there's anybody in there now. Is it still giving y'all guys trouble? Oh, okay. Thank you. As long as the audio is good, the video can stutter, and I'm cool with that. But I don't want the audio to get choppy. You know, if that happens, then y'all, what's the point? You know, I did bring some show and tell with me. I've got some lenses that I've been picking up along the way that I'm going to review. This is coming. I have used this one in one video already, but it was kind of a one-sided comparison. I did a video where I compared 3 lenses, and this was one of the 3 I picked. This is the little, I think it's the 35 to 80. No, it's a 35 to 105 little variable aperture. It's got a screw-on lens hood. It's got a set screw in it, which I thought was kind of neat. Came with it. And of course, it has a Nikon, a legit Nikon filter. This one is the L1BC. This is a blue filter. You know, back in the 80s, all the lenses had a blue shift for some reason, or a magenta shift, or whatever it was, and everybody put them blue filters on to fix it. This one's kind of stuck. Yeah, it's under good too. But it's a little push-pull zoom, you know. It's got all the focus scaling and all that stuff, like anybody would use that. I guess street photographers, right? Gives you your distances and all that. It's kind of neat. Nice. I mean, even these cheaper lenses have really nice aperture rings. It's got a really nice aperture ring on it. But I liked it. I bought this one. I think I actually found this one in a yard sale. I like the size for a zoom lens. Yeah, it's 35 to 105. I think it's variable aperture. Yeah, f3.5 to f4.5. So it's a variable aperture. I mean, to get it that small, it has to be. But I mean, for a walk around lens, if it doesn't have a bunch of issues with chromatic aberration and stuff, you know, and issues in the corners, which it shouldn't on the Fuji because it's cutting the center out of the frame anyway. You know, it's culling all that normal stuff that goes bad around the edges. That's the beauty of using these full frame lenses on the Fuji is it'll be like a 50 to 180 roughly on there, or 150, 50 to 150, which happens to be, I think, what this lens is. Let me see. 75 to 150. Here's a Nikon 75 to 150 millimeter push-pull zoom. It's not much bigger than the 35. This is a Series E lens. The Series E lenses are cool to me. This is the Series E was their budget glass, and the only thing I can see that's budget about these lenses is the price. They take a couple of things off of them, but it's so minute you can't really tell it. I like the Series E glass. Oh, excuse me, got a bug flew in my ear. I don't know if y'all saw him or not. It felt like a gnat went. I had to sort that out. But yeah, this is the f3.5. Yeah, this is f3.5 constant aperture. I haven't shot with it yet, but just a couple of frames. I took a picture. I have a picture of a cow in a field of little yellow flowers that I took with it with the D810. It's a pretty neat photo, but it looks like it has a built-in lens, but it don't. I guess it's just the way the lens is made. It's got a filter thread right there, but I don't know. Let's see, has it got lens creep? Let's see if it's got lens creep. Nah, not bad. No, not really. The barrel don't float on it too bad. You can shake it and it'll move. These focus, yeah, there it goes. These zoom barrels, yeah, see, they'll develop that over time. Typically, it's pretty common. It's not a bad thing. But yeah, I'm curious to see how them play out. I bet this filter or this hood fits that lens too. See. Yeah. People keep naming other lenses that I don't have, and I'll go look on eBay. Sure enough, there'll be a whole list of them. But these aren't very expensive. You can get these for less than $100, significantly less most of the time. Here's one that I gave, I think, $30 for. The machine work on this lens is exquisite. This is not a Nikkor lens. This is a Prince. I don't know. Is that it may be showing up backwards to you guys. It's showing up backwards on my screen. I don't know if you're seeing it backwards or not. But yeah, I got the 70 to 210 Nikkors, the old push pulls, and they got lens creep issues. It's pretty heavy. Grant saying it'd be cool to wear. I got a head mount for my GoPro. I can do the Evan Rant style where you wear it on your head. Video. I'm gonna put that together for you guys. I actually took a environmental portrait for the first time today. I actually asked the lady if she didn't mind if I made her portrait, and she said it'd be okay. So I got a portrait of her doing her craft that she was doing. She was weaving these things. It was a Japanese word. I got the name. I took a picture of the fixture, which had the word on it. But she was weaving these threads and making these beautiful necklaces. It was really, really exquisite. Let's see. Look at this. I just now realized this. Let's see. Sure enough, it comes with a Prince 67 millimeter one filter. It actually is. It's a branded filter by the same company. I didn't know it had a filter on it. So what color is that? Maybe it's UV. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's really changing anything, does it? No. But the lens has a built-in lens hood. Look at this. And it's beautifully machined. Just gorgeous lens. And this is a screw focus or a screw zoom. And then of course it has a fairly nice aperture range. It doesn't have such positive clicks like the Nikkors, but they're there. I mean, it stops firmly on if you don't get crazy. It's an f3.3. I've got it stopped down. That's right on. Yeah. I don't know. This is a Pentax mount, and I have an adapter for that already, but I thought this is like $30. The glass is gorgeous. I'm curious to see how it turns out. I've had this one for a while because I didn't have the Pentax bayonet mount for a long time. Then I got that 58 mil and ordered that one, and I forgot about this lens being in there because at one point I was ordering 2 a day of these $10 to $20 lenses, and they just kept coming in, and I was stacking them up. But yeah, I think that was going to be an interesting lens. It's real heavy. There's a lot of glass in there for it to be f3.3. It's a pretty meaty lens. You know, it's only what, a third of a stop down from f2.8, so that's a pretty big lens. I put that watch picture on my Instagram. Let's see. Some of y'all saw it. All right, get off the commercial side. Yeah, see. Somebody wants a probably for 6 or 7 years. It's honestly, I've never used Photoshop more than once or twice. I just never learned it. But I picked up GIMP way back when it was cheap. Well, actually, I mean, when Photoshop was cheap and you could buy it for like $200 or $100, whatever. GIMP was free then. So I just downloaded it and messed around, watched a bunch of YouTube videos and figured out how to do what I needed done. I was needing white background photos, and I was shooting them on with white seamless, a big sheet of paper laid like this, and you'd set it on like blocks, and then you go into your editor and create layers and erase the stuff, and make it all white around it for the internet. That's all I used it for a long time. And this latest release of it has got, basically, you can do your photo editing in it. I don't remember if it's got a raw converter in it now or not. I know that there was a plug-in that allowed you to do raw conversions. But that's why that Darktable works so well, is it does raw edits. Let's see. What length is that Prince lens? It's the same as this Nikkor. Let's see. Get out my universal measuring tape here. In the United States, a dollar bill is 6 inches long. In the UK, it's 150 millimeters. It's about, I'd say it's a good 5 inches in length. And, dude, it's pretty much 3 inches in diameter nearly. It's easily 2 3/4 diameter. It's a huge lens, and it's heavy. There's a bunch of glass in there, dude. That's a heavy lens. I don't know. I guess the camera's trying to adjust the brightness. And the ceiling's red, or I would have aimed the light up on the ceiling to just kind of shed spill light, but it's red. So it won't work. It's some kind of big corrugated steel. Is a 200 millimeter. It's a, let's see here. That's focus. Oh, I thought it was a zoom lens. No, it's a fixed. Yeah, it's a 200 millimeter f3.3. Yeah, I thought it was a zoom lens for some reason, but no, it's just a fixed 200 mil. My bad. Yeah, you're right. I thought for some reason I had it in my head it was an 80 to 2. Yeah, that one. See here. I've never heard of the Prince brand. You guys are talking about how you got the parts and stuff by them. I had never seen them until this one. I was just scrolling around. I really don't know how I got this served me. I was probably looking at Pentax or Minolta lenses. It's got a Minolta mount, not a Pentax mount. My bad. But I was looking at Minolta glass, and when I was scrolling through it probably gave it to me because it had a Minolta mount on it. No, they're talking about, you sent it back. And dude, Robert's camera is a good place. I'll tell you, as far as that goes, what's the one in Atlanta? Because I end up getting a bunch of these lenses from them because they sell them on eBay. And there's Robert's camera is one of the places I'll see these used lenses that they're peddling. And then the one in Atlanta, I don't remember their name now, but there's a big camera store in Atlanta that sells a lot of used Nikkor glass, and a bunch of these lenses came from them. I can't remember its name now. If you go to YouTube and you search for Nikkor AIS lens and you look up the nicer ones, you'll see who I'm talking about. They're in Atlanta. I normally get those lenses like the next day. That 200 millimeter. Yeah. This will basically be a 300 mil on the Fuji X-T3. That's the only mount I have for it. Since it's not a Nikkor mount, I can't put it on my Nikon. And I don't want to try and, I mean, I could unbolt this plate and maybe figure out how to machine a replacement and move it over to the Nikon. But then I don't think this aperture drive will work. I believe this aperture drive is set up for the Minolta. So I'll just run it on the Fuji. Oh, the whole lens gets longer. It grows significantly as you zoom. Shoot, it grew a half an inch. Yeah. David Roberts, MPB, Adorama. Yeah. You're going to make me look. I can't. I don't. Yeah, I can. Mr. Gonzalez solved it for me. It's KEH camera. That's the one. I've never had a bad lens from them. Whatever that, when they condition rate a lens, it's exactly like they say. It's always just like they say. I've never had trouble out of their stuff. But yeah, that's the 3 zooms I brought with me. The only camera I brought tonight. Let's see here. Oh, some of you guys will be happy to know that I've been shooting the D810 some here lately. I still have the 60 mil on it from the other day. I don't know if y'all have this problem or not, but the rubber boot that goes over the memory card door, that swelled up and fell off. I tried to glue it back on once or twice, but it changed physical size and actually wouldn't fit the footprint, or I just took it off. And you don't notice it. But that's the only thing that I've ever had trouble out of this monster from. And I've run it with the battery grip ever since I bought the battery grip. Yeah. But yeah, this camera rocks, dude. Oh, it's saying the battery's dead. I did this the other night. It's like the battery grip may be going bad on it. Now the battery grip works. Yeah, listen to this. Y'all hear that focus drive? Yeah, this is a knockoff battery grip. It's not a Nikon. It's some kind of cheap knockoff brand. Let's see. I've had this grip for years. It's a Vivitar, so it's actually not too bad of a knockoff. It's actually a pretty nice grip. But it's worked flawlessly for several years now without issue. Wow. I didn't know that, Eric. But you know that for eBay, you can make them offers. They have bit my offers more than once. Axmar said, I don't mind that motor drive sound at all. I also have the vaunted 85 mil f1.8. I don't know if it's just there. The background blur looks virtually identical on them. I just don't know. I couldn't bring myself to spend the extra money on the f1.4. It's an enormous lens. It makes you, yeah, the f1.8 is nice glass. I took some beautiful portraits with it of Adeline. What else is in here? There's a battery charger. That's all the camera gear I brought with me. I do have this widget in the bag. I do have this little thing. This actually works. It actually works really well. I was surprised how well this little viewfinder deal. It's actually closed down right now. You pop it out. Then you stick it on the back of the camera, and even in broad daylight, it takes the glare away so you can see your photo. This actually works good. Yeah, Eric, when you look at the KEH listings, KEH, and I think Roberts will do it too. If they've got a lens they ain't moved in a while, they'll have the make offer button I ain't scared. I'll click it. I'll lowball them and throw, maybe kick it $50 under. Sometimes they'll counter offer, but most of the time they'll just buy. There's Richard's Outdoor World. Glad to see you logged in. Have you ever had your hands on the 105 F4? Nope. That thing it's got to be like as much as all three of these added together. Man, that would be an enormous lens. I got I have the F2 DC nickel, and it's a huge, heavy lens, and it takes phenomenal portraits too. How about the D or pre-D 8518? Nope, I haven't laid my hands on those either. I've been wanting to get an AIS in 85 mil, just to tell you the truth, and I haven't done it yet. I'm starting to stack them up, but I still got a couple of Nikkor lenses that are from my original collection that I want to review for you guys. I even have the stamp collector's lens. I have the 200 millimeter micro Nikkor. Beautiful product photo lens. You just have to have a lot of space to be able to shoot with it. You're going to take pictures. A lot of the little things we do in our machine shop it's wide. It blows it completely out. If it had dust or something on it, it blurs it into nothing. It's a great lens for product photos. But yeah, I haven't tried the D series, the pre-Ds. This 85 is a D series. I could get it back out, but yeah, it's a D series. I think it's a D. The difference between D and non-D is D gives you distance information to the camera. Yeah, this is a D. Yeah, but I haven't tried any of the newer ones. No, none of the gilded ones, the G series. I haven't tried any of them. They say they take phenomenal photos too. I've let this one get dusty. I don't know if y'all can see the dust on the lens, but it's trying to be dusty. I got my rocket air in the truck. Yeah, this lens is crazy good. But yeah, that 200 millimeter, that's one of my favorite lenses. Man, the focus ring on it is literally that wide. It is like, it's this twice over. It's a huge focus ring on it. Because, any serious macro shooter is manually focusing. Anyway, it'll autofocus. It's screwdriver focus. You can autofocus it. I don't remember what minimum focus distance is. About 8 inches or something. Dude, and at 200 millimeters, it's 1-to-1 reproduction ratio, it says. It's incredible lens. The clarity on it is just phenomenal. I just haven't gotten it out yet. I used it in my macro lens shootout. I did use it in that shootout. Yeah, and it's heavy. I don't remember if it has its own tripod foot or not. I think it does, just to tell you the truth. Hi, Lou's here from New Jersey. Thank you. Glad you checked in. Yeah, thank you, Richard. Richard's the one that gave me Richard's Outdoor World. He's right now, let's see. He's right there in the comments. He's the one that gave me the idea for that LCD viewer. Without that thing, seeing what you photographed in the daytime is pointless on the D810. It doesn't have a bright enough display to, to even see it in bright sunlight. But with that thing, it works perfectly. I'm also wondering if over with that couple from, I think they were from Indiana. I think they were from Indianapolis, and they had a D850, and I want to say it was a much brighter display, an OLED display, to where the D810 just has a LCD. I don't remember, but yeah, it seemed like the D850 had a brighter display. It was easier to see it. But Sorry about that. Had to collect my thoughts. Yeah, I like these. I like these D series little lenses, especially these wonderful focal lengths. I would like to find the 105, see how that one compares to this one. This little 85, I don't know that it'll be hard to beat this lens. It takes such good photos. Yeah, Bass Angler has a D850, don't you? I think you do. I don't know anybody local to me that has one. And it has touchscreen too. And I forget about that on the XT3 a lot of times. And somehow I'm constantly hitting a button somewhere and changing that little function in the corner where when you touch the screen, it'll focus or there's about 3 or 4 things it'll do. And one of them is shot. If you touch the screen, it takes a picture. And I'll be doing stuff and I'll be trying to zoom and it'll be taking photos. Oh, I make mistakes on that thing all the time. So I'm constantly turning that shot back off. But the D5, I haven't handled the D5 either. I have handled a D3S and a D2, but I've never seen a D4 or a D5. I can only imagine how nice that D3S was a nice camera. Took beautiful photos. I don't remember what kind of sensor it had in it, but it took phenomenal photos. Aha! Okay. Another camera I need to get my hands on is a D500. I haven't found one of those local to me yet either. One nice. I haven't told y'all about this, but my light has a opaque diffuser panel on it. So I was gathering all my stuff up to bring it for tonight's live stream. I walk out on the porch with my light, and I didn't have the little plastic connectors that has the clamp. Basically, let's see. This piece, there's a screw right here that holds this section together, and then you loosen this and move the telescope. But if you do it wrong, then it'll pop apart just like that. Okay, let's set that back down where it needs to be. Put this back like it should be. Well, unfortunately for me, I walked out the door and that was loose enough, it slid out. When it did, it hit the porch and it broke the little stanchions off the top of the diffuser panel. So now it's just kind of flopping up there. So I've got to get those broken studs out of the housing and get some metric screws and repair it. Oh. Eric Farmer says he shot a D4 with a D3 backup. Love them. The D3 is the best built body he's ever owned. Wow. That's saying a lot, dude. The D3 is the one I handled, dude. It's like you said, you can drive nails with a D3. It was built like a tank. Now, of course, I didn't test that theory, but man, you knew you had a camera in your hand when you picked that thing up. True story about Angler. D500 worth every penny. Yeah, from what I've heard, it's basically a miniature D850, right? I mean, the D850 gets its focusing system from the D500, which got it from the D5, I believe. But I'm going to shoot this D810 till it quits. And it don't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. I bought that D7000 back in 2012. Yeah, the D850 is basically a scaled up D500 sensor, I think, isn't it? That's what I was under the impression it was. Yeah, it's a crop sensor D5. Yeah, the pixel density is supposed to be, the pixel pitch is supposed to be the same on them. It's just a bigger sensor, so you get more information supposedly. Well, at least that was that was the impression I was under. Wow. The 850 has the 850 display on the back of the camera has double the resolution as my D810. That's impressive. Wow. But I'm hard pressed to replace this camera anytime soon. When I sold D7000 and got the D810, basically I fell for the whole you need more megapixels, you need a full frame sensor sales pitch. And I look back and I kind of wish I still had that D7000. It was doing really well. You know, there was people complaining about them having trouble, but I never had a problem out of that camera. It worked perfectly. I got sold a bill of goods. I fell for it, but I'm not getting rid of this one. It performs. Oh, okay. Eric's asking Cuban a question. Lou says he's got an old D300S in addition. Dude, that D300S, I know people today that are using that camera for pro work. Today. I know a photographer in Lafayette, Georgia. She uses it right now. She's doing senior portraits, and she doesn't do weddings proper. She used to do weddings. She may still, but I don't think she does weddings now. But she does the engagement shoots, and she does the senior portraits and family portraits and things. And she shoots it all on D300S. Loves the camera. Works great. I think she actually bought a couple of them because they got cheap. The D700 is an amazing machine. The D7100 that Richard's Outdoor World is talking about, that's a nice machine. I want to say it or the 7200 was supposed to be like the bargain of the year last year. It was like the best crop sensor Nikon that, you know, versus price point, you could get it so cheap, but it performed so well, I believe is what it was. It was one of them too. I don't remember which one it was. And I've got a friend who shoots pro photos with a Nikon D610. He lives in Michigan. He actually flies down and shoots my catalog for me because I like his style of photography. I fly him in once a year or once every other year and have him shoot all the stuff for the catalog because his company's called Greg Scaz Photography. He's in Michigan. But it's a long story as the reason that I work with Greg, but Greg he has a very unique style to his photos, and I like his style. And it our business model. I try to emulate it. I have a different style. And we get to catch up while he's down. Yeah. See, Bass Angler just looked. Got a D7100. No. He's found a D7200 for $700. Dude, $700. And then Eric got a D7100 from KEX for $470 last year with 5,000 shutter actuators. That's brand new. I think my brightness is turned all the way up on this one. Let me look and just see. My personal menu, the first item that comes up. It's funny how this thing does. Let's see. Oh, I need more light on it. Now you can't read it. So it comes up non-CPU lens data. It's currently set up for a 55 millimeter f2.8. That's the one I had on it last. Anyway, let's see here. Monitor brightness +3. It only goes to 5. Where's okay? There it is. Yeah, I've already got it jacked to 3 out of 5 above 0. It goes from -5 to +5, and I'm running it already on +3. plus 3 looks like that. I still have the photos in it from where I shot that video. Uh-oh, let's see what's come through here. Nico of Fifine, a wireless microphone review invitation. Y'all can't see it because of the brightness, but yeah, probably not. I'm not going to do something that's going to require me to agree to things. I built my own channel with your guys' help, not with theirs. In Indiana, yeah, Use Photo Pro is Robert's camera. That's true. They say it's in the same building. And I've got the 51.8D, and I think the Series E manual one is sharper than that D. I can't say, but the G Series, I've never had one. I've only got one G Series lens in my arsenal. That's the 70-200 f2.8. The original one, the first G Series 70-200 f2.8, that's the one I have. Actually, I think it's the first one. It's the one before, they changed the body style on the second one. They made it the more cylinder shape, more like this kind of shape on that second gen. And then that third gen was when they added the fluoride element. I've never even handled either one of them. Which that second gen, people complained about it. So that's why I never messed with upgrading. And then I realized that the improvements are just marginal, So that's when I realized that the one I have takes phenomenal photos anyway, so I just kept it. I did review that lens. Yeah. As far as Richard's talking about putting like a 50mm prime on a crop sensor camera and getting amazing portraits, and that's something I found out with that 58mm Minolta. If y'all looked at my Instagram a couple of days ago, I posted a picture of Sierra that I took sitting in front of a window seat. And that picture was just a spur of the moment snapshot. Let's see here. Let me go back. It's this one. That was shot with a 58mm at probably F4, F2, F4, somewhere in there. And it just happened to be a north-facing window with beautiful spill light. There was a parking lot between two buildings, so the wall of the other building was reflecting light through the window. So it actually turned out really well. I just sat down and saw it, and I was like, I got to get a photo of that. Oh, look, Teresa's here. It's been running pretty strong, Teresa.
Are you going to take off your silly glasses?
No, because I have to have them to be able to read what's going on in the comments beside it. Yeah. Teresa's lost how many pounds?
15.
15 pounds, which she doesn't weigh but 100 pounds soaking wet anyway. So that's a big deal to her. We talked about that for probably the first 10 minutes of the live stream about how much weight we lost and the diet plans. One of these guys lost 60 pounds. It's good to forget. You're shaking the table.
I love you. I'm going back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's been people coming and going, getting their clothes out of the washroom the whole time. But actually, the internet's been pretty good here. They complained once or twice about it stuttering, but not much. So it's actually been pretty decent. Yeah. Okay, you got me to pull out my D810, D850. The D850 is a lot brighter. I thought it was. Yeah. This one it's bright. Like I said, I've got it turned up to +3 to get to that, Let's see if I can go back a few photos here. When you get the reflector, that piece of aluminum foil adjusted wrong, You get that. That's what I was talking about. And I should have put that in the video, but I didn't. That was a mistake on my part. Hitting that glass table with that light like that. Wow. Ah, here we go. Can y'all see? It's turned up too bright. I brighten up the frame. Let's see if I get the camera. I can't get it to show you. But if I turn it like this, you can see some of it. But yeah, the brightness is cranked. I mean, if I turn it to the camera, you can tell it's just over too much information. There's not enough black. I guess that's why the picture of the watch shows up, because it's almost an all black frame. But yeah, I thought that was one of the things they improved on the D850. But yeah, this is what's coming up in the next couple of months. I'm gonna work these in. I'm gonna get them all run through. I want to shoot these Nikons on both the D810 and the XT3. That way we can get a sampling of a full frame sensor with a full frame lens and a crop sensor with the same lens. As you know, like I said, we're cutting the best part of the optical glass out of the middle with the crop sensor camera, so it's almost like cheating. You know, most of the time you get distortion, barrel distortion around the perimeter, or the corners are dark with vignetting and all that. And you kind of beat the system with this, with the XT3. But if I put it on the D810, I'll get what's really going on with it, you know, and it may just turn out terrible. But they look good, you know, for what they cost. And there's another one or two still at home that I haven't done yet. I've got a mystery lens on the XT3 right now. Middle of that, I'll get that much. And I'm not super impressed with it. Its mechanical quality is not as well as expected. Then again, I got it cheap, so yeah, maybe. It seems to take good enough photos, but it's not like super tight. Like these don't have play in them. It's got a little play in it. It's a neat little lens, though. So Grant asked, so what are your future plans for the channel? As of right now, I've been watching my own videos. Okay. I go back through it, and number one, I always watch the video I just uploaded once it goes live all the way through, so I can see quality, or I can see if there's something I missed or if there's something wrong with it. The last one had an error, and it was in the transition where we was looking at one of the frames of the watch, and then it transitioned back to me. And there was an error somehow in the edit, and it would pop up for a split second, a red frame that would say media fail or media unavailable or something. It was a little red frame that would pop up. And that's something to do with DaVinci Resolve. So I went back in and I fixed it, and I uploaded again. That's why some of y'all's comments might have disappeared, because what I done was I made that video, I marked it unlisted, and then I basically made the second one the live video, and I fixed that. But I'll be dadgum if it still didn't do it. I also caught where I failed to color grade one of the clips, so it goes from a really blue kind of color grade to a much warmer tone, because I try to warm them up for the summertime. I was like, yeah, that was an obvious mistake on my part. Don't color grade much. Oh, but I've seen my style of video making kind of evolve, and I'm going to continue to make review videos, and I'm really liking the whole cameras and coffee chat session, which is more or less what this is. I like this kind of foray, but I still want to do those, and I want to start incorporating more taking photos, you know, and maybe some of the stuff I've learned about video, start exploring that a little bit too. But yeah, I want to start doing something like somebody, it might have been Grant, said to do it, about putting on the GoPro and doing as I do the street photography or whatever shoot I'm doing, film it, you know, and then their cameras, and I've got plans for one of them. I want to Actually, I may use it for both. I may use both of them for it. What I thought about doing was start doing photo walks with people that want to like meet up. Maybe there's some locals in the area. Maybe we can get 4 or 5 together. And if they bring some people, I got 2 loaner cameras because those D200s take beautiful pictures, but they're not real expensive cameras, so they're not hard to work with. They've got enough functionality that you can take really interesting photos with them. They do use the CF cards. They don't use SD cards. I looked for a CF to SD card conversion, like a little cartridge, but none of them seem to be reliable. So I decided against that. But I thought about that, and then you could always just copy them right quick over to an SD card for them, because then an SD card, everybody pretty much has an SD card reader, or even move them to a flash drive for them or something. Just pull them off the camera and stick them on a flash drive and give them their photos. But I thought about doing that. Let's see here. DeWitt Hayes says astrophotography. I tried it a couple of times. I did the North Star when I had my D7000 from my front porch. I was super careful with it, doing 10-minute exposures with it. I had a intervalometer that would do 10-minute exposures, but I from the front porch up through the trees, I could see the North Star, and I had it framed pretty well, and the stars rotated around it, and it was a pretty cool shot. But getting really good, like you see those shots of the night from sky, or the night photos out west with the car trails driving down a mountain road in the mountains out west, and then you got the beautiful night sky above it. You can't really do that in the east because of the terrain. It doesn't work well. You'd have to scout a lot to find a good spot for that. Yeah, it could be done, but it'd take a lot of scouting and take a lot of work on your part to find something like that. I would like to try it, but yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it. I mean, I like to shoot the moon when it's full moon, because typically it's pretty close to the planet. I can get that. I've got that big 2 to 500 Nikkor, the new one, the Super Zoom as they nickname it. I think it's f5.6. That lens takes incredible photos. I photographed the solar eclipse with it. I photographed the moon a couple of times with it. It takes really beautiful photos of the moon. And it's not super heavy. I had the 400 millimeter f2.8 AIS. So I called up Roberts and said, hey, can I trade this thing in towards one of those 2 to 500 super zooms? And they was like, shoot, yeah, send it to us and we'll appraise it. And I don't remember what they gave me for it. From what I bought it for to what I sold it for, I might have lost $100. They gave me a really fair price. That was one of the things that really sold me about them dealing with those guys, was they gave me a good price on that lens. And literally the brand new super zoom showed up. I gave them a credit card number over the phone for the difference, and the new lens showed up like 2 or 3 days later, and I have not looked back. That lens is incredible. Of course, you do lose 2 stops of light to the f2.8, but just crank you some ISO and run with it. Takes beautiful photos. Yeah, Axmar says D500 plus the 2 to 500 f5.6 equals heaven. Bass Angler's like, he keeps that lens glued to his camera. You can super glue it and just leave it. That's what this lens and camera's for. Yeah. Woo. Man, that would be equivalent to a 750 millimeter lens on a D500. No wonder you like that thing. F8, but still a 750 millimeter F8. Yeah, I get it now. Now, I used it on my D810 in Hawaii and took pictures of the surfers. And I don't know if I've ever shared any of the surfer photos that I took. But yeah, I got some good photos of the guys cutting 20-foot waves, and it was easy sitting on the beach with it. After about 30 minutes, you do have to stop. I learned to keep a washcloth draped over it and draped over the camera, because the salt spray off the ocean will get on your camera gear. I learned that pretty quick because the lens turned to almost an opaque white, and I realized it was salt. I thought, that's getting all over the whole camera. remember that when you go to the beach, especially Hawaii, because the wind blows all the time coming in, just all the time. So I clean the lens with a lens cloth and I have the little spray bottles of stuff. But once I realized it was getting that salt spray on the lens, I knew it was getting on the rest of the camera. I didn't want to ruin my camera. So I went over and got a bath towel or a beach towel out of the bag and just draped it over my head and over the camera and over the tripod and everything to minimize that damage. Plus, it kept the sun off the camera, so I'm sure that helped too. Yeah, I run the 1.4x teleconverter too. But, you know, on the D810, that only gives you 700 millimeters. Now, look, they're going to have me buying that silly D500 before it's over with. With the D810 laying right here. two D200s at home. The Fuji and the camera bag in the truck. I still have the Sony A7 II, and it still works. As long as you're careful with it, it works fine. And Bass Angler's over here. You need one. Axe is laughing at me. Yeah, you guys are killing me. Oh. That's funny. Bass Angler says Rokinon 14 millimeter f2.8 is a good astrophotography lens. It's no good for anything else. Cuban Rum says he likes the idea of the photo walks. Yeah, I thought about starting to put some of them together. Oh, look, Bass Angler's going to help me talk the wife into it. Wow. 180 millimeter f2.8. Yeah, that's on the list. The 180 f2.8, the 80 to 200 2.8 screw drive. I want to get one of those just for the reference collection, you know. Kind of, that's the only reason I want it. Because I've got the 70 to 200G, and it's a phenomenal long lens. But that 180 millimeter f2.8, I would like to have the 200 millimeter f2 if I could get one for reasonable money. If you do, make sure you put a return address in the box. That way I can send it home. Yeah, you're probably laughing right now, but you would be surprised at the stuff that the machine shop gets from in-world users, and they'll just put it in a box and mail it. We don't know who it is. You would be surprised. You know, it's like, really? You didn't give me any? I guess and then they'll send it from a UPS store. I can't just mail it back to that UPS store. I don't know. But so yeah, be sure if you send a lens in and you want me to review it, I will definitely shoot the footage of it as soon as I can and turn it around and get it back to you as quick as possible so that you won't be without it very long. And it will travel very well packaged for me. I'm just kind of catching up. Man, there's a lot of stuff going by on here pretty quick. But the next video is going to be a little bit of that street photography sort of thing because, like I said, I got a bunch of footage today where I went down to the market and basically shooting with this other lens. I'm going to it's going to be probably a review of that lens as well. So it'll be some of that. I've got enough B-roll footage to put that together with it, you know. So it should be a pretty interesting video. I've got a lot of industrial work to knock out over the next couple of weeks. I've almost finished one major project. There's another one that's in process. I've got a bunch of little industrial jobs. I knocked out one of the little industrial jobs last Friday. I made some 2¼ inch nuts that were smooth bored with a keyway and had a bunch of set screws in them and stuff. And I made those Friday. I got to take them Tuesday morning to drop them off. I've got a bunch of stuff like that to get caught up in the machine shop, so it's kind of got me busy to where I don't have a lot of. Okay. It's not race day. So I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee, out here in East Ridge, and Brainerd Optimus drag strip is just right over there. But it ain't race night, so I don't know why he come by so loud. Let's see here. Bass Angler says, you ever try a 24mm f2.8D series? No, I haven't. But I do have the 24mm f2.8 AIS. Or it's the AI. I'd have to look again. I have a 24mm. That's another one on the list of review I haven't done yet. I was looking through some lenses today and found it too. I've had that one since the really early days. It was one of the first Nikkor lenses I bought. I found it at a flea market and got it for I got it for a song. It was cheap, like $20 or something. It was. That's weird. I don't know if y'all can hear that alarm, but Thomas Taylor asked, what are your thoughts on the Fuji 16mm f2.8? I honestly haven't used one yet. The only Fuji non-lens I have is I have the 18-55 variable aperture, the one that goes from 2.8 to f4. Phenomenal piece of glass. From what I understand, the 16mm f1.4 is like king of the hill. They say the 18mm isn't all that great, but I don't know about the 16-2.8. It would have to be a lightweight lens compared to that f1.4 monster. It's 2 stops tighter on light, so it would have to be significantly smaller. I bet it would be a really nice lens, especially for like general photography and walking around like street photos, because that would only be about what, 24 mil? It'd be pretty wide angle. Okay, Bass Lamb, I appreciate it. I need to write this down. You guys need to email me, okay? I don't have anything to write with. If you'll shoot me an email, I'll create a folder in my email and I'll save those in it. And that way, when we get to that point, I can pull them up and I'll have them for reference. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate the offer. But that's the plan. But yeah, to get back to Grant's question, that's the plan for the channel for the foreseeable future, is to just kind of keep trucking along, doing what I'm doing, and more of what I've been doing, and then start incorporating. I would like to do some location things, like the photo walks in the Chattanooga area. Do them maybe 3 or 4 times a year. There is an event coming up. It's the Great Smoky Mountain photography conference or something's coming up in November. I haven't signed up yet. I've kicked the idea back and forth about 3 or 4 times. I've got a f32 camera in Knoxville hosts it. And it's a nature photography symposium. You go out and you shoot wildlife and you shoot nature and landscape, things like that. And they bring in a bunch of heavy hitter names in the photography world and do workshops. They'll do lectures, and then they break up into small groups, and you go out and you shoot things. And it looks like it would be a really interesting thing to go photo document and video, and make it into a series even, But it's several days, and you stay in Townsend, Tennessee, which is about 15 miles away from Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. It's just the roads all kind of meet in Townsend, and then you go out over horizontally out of Townsend over to Maryville, and then on over to the interstate. Just in that kind of area. It's just outside the edge of Smoky Mountain National Forest. And they do all that there. And there's like a big lodge they meet at and do it all, and it's all on site. Yes, sir. Thank you, Thomas, for stopping by. I really appreciate everybody. You guys know that. I type it enough times on y'all's comments. I hope I'll see them. but yeah, I want to do those. And then I want to do some more of them like I did last fall with the couple from Indiana and do some meetups to go shoot maybe waterfalls. I love to photograph moving water. That's one of the things I like to photograph. Dude, that sounds like gunfire. Maybe it's firecrackers, but that sounds surprisingly like gunfire. And this is a city. It's kind of worrisome. But anyway, but yeah, I would like to do some of that. I was kicking around an idea with one of you guys that lives down in Gunnersville, Alabama, about meeting up in Rainsville or Fort Payne and going over. I found some barns. Barns are cool. I saw some old barns north of Fort Payne heading back north towards Trenton the other day that even from the roadside, I think would make interesting photos. And I want to do that. Yeah, I am pretty heavily. I got a joke for you. We was at the Chattanooga market today, and it's not there, but it's not about that subject. But we was at the Chattanooga market, and there's a little coffee vendor. I don't remember the name of their coffee shop, but it was kind of some kind of little coy name like Spill the Beans or something like that. And she went up to the window. She said, "What can I get for you?" I said, "Black coffee." She said, "Oh, you like it black, do you?" And I said, "Yeah, I like my coffee black and my tea in the harbor because I'm an American." She about dropped my coffee. She thought that was the funniest thing she had heard all day. Yeah, I'm an American. I like my coffee black and my tea in the harbor. But oh. One of you guys lives in Boston, probably. I know Martin Castine's in England. Oh. At this point, we're photographers. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's been a good time. Oh, look, it's Teresa. Let's see. I think I'm about to hang it up, guys. Let's see what she says. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. But cool. All right. Love you too. See you in a little bit. Then I'll work on putting together a schedule. Maybe it'll be every other week for a while until I can kind of get the work schedule with the machine shop needs to be brought back into line where I'll have a little more free time in the evenings. Right now I'm working too much. That's the unfortunate reality of it. Thank you, Grant. I really appreciate it. Yeah. But yeah, I'll work on putting together a schedule for you guys, and we'll get together, like you said, and we'll do this. We'll do this on a regular basis. Good night, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see y'all soon.